Dr. Hana Kim stood in her underground laboratory, watching the dark matter particles dance in the containment field. The invisible matter that made up most of the universe finally bent to her will after 15 years of secret research. Nobody in the galaxy knew what humans had discovered. They still saw Earth as a small world full of stubborn but harmless traitors. The laboratory sat deep beneath Sol, hidden from alien sensors that watched human space. Hana had worked alone for the first 10 years, then with a small team of trusted scientists. They called themselves the Shadow Project. Every breakthrough stayed secret. Every test happened in the dark. "The energy output is stable," said Dr. Chan Ho-baek, reading numbers from his screen. "We can power a whole starship with this much dark matter." Hana nodded. The dark matter core hummed quietly in its metal shell. It looked like any other ship engine, but this one could do impossible things. Ships powered by dark matter could fade from normal space. They could pass through solid walls. Weapons fired at them would hit nothing but empty air. "Send the data to Admiral Park," Hana said. "Tell him we are ready for the first ship tests." On the far side of Luna, Admiral Day Park watched workers finish the first dark matter warship. The shipyard floated in space where Earth's moon blocked it from alien spy satellites. From outside, the ship looked normal. Gray hull, standard weapons, regular engines. But inside, the dark matter core waited. "How long before the other ships are ready?" Park asked his chief engineer. 6 months for the first squadron, 2 years for a full fleet," the engineer replied. "The cores take time to build." Park stared at the finished ship through the observation window. Humanity had been lucky so far. The galaxy's major powers saw humans as useful but weak. They traded with Earth but never worried about human strength. That would change soon. The comm system beeped. A message came from Captain Tae-ho Lee, commanding a patrol ship near the colony world of New Busan. Park opened the channel. "Admiral, we have a problem." Lee's voice came through static. "Vorthan raiders are attacking the colony. They have 6 warships. I only have the Soul's Pride and 2 escort ships." Park's blood went cold. The Soul's Pride was one of 3 ships secretly fitted with a dark matter engine. Lee did not know about the special equipment. The installation team told him it was a new type of reactor. "Captain, you are ordered to engage the raiders," Park said. "Use all available resources." "Sir, they outgun us 3-1. We cannot win a normal fight. Trust your ship, Captain. It can do more than you know." Captain Tae-ho Lee cut the comm channel and looked at his crew. They had served together for 5 years. Good people, brave people. He would not let them die today, even if it meant trying something crazy. "Helm, take us in fast. Engineering, give me everything the reactor has." The Soul's Pride rushed toward the Vorthan fleet. The alien ships were long and sharp, painted in the red colors of their raiding clans. They had been attacking human colonies for years, taking supplies and prisoners. Earth's regular navy could not stop them. "Human ship, you will surrender now," came the Vorthan commander's voice. "Your weapons cannot harm us." Lee gritted his teeth. The Vorthans were right about normal weapons. Their shields could stop anything humans usually carried. But his ship felt different today. The new reactor hummed with strange energy. "All weapons, fire at will," Lee ordered. The Soul's Pride opened fire, but something impossible happened. The energy beams passed right through the Vorthan shields like they were not there. 3 alien ships exploded in bright flashes. The other 3 raiders spun around in panic. "How did we do that?" asked the weapons officer. Lee had no answer. His ship fired again, and another Vorthan raider died. The last 2 aliens fled into hyperspace, their brave words forgotten. "Captain, the colony is safe," reported the communications officer. "But they are asking how we defeated shielded warships." "Tell them our weapons got lucky shots," Lee said. He did not understand what happened either. "And send a full report to Admiral Park." News of the battle spread quickly through human space, then beyond. Alien traders carried stories of human ships that could somehow hurt enemies they should not be able to touch. Most aliens did not believe the stories. Humans were not that advanced. But some aliens paid attention. In the halls of the Galactic Council, Ambassador Sujin Park listened to worried discussions. The Krex Empire wanted to know more about human weapons. The Etherian collective tried to read human minds across space but found strange barriers blocking them. Sujin kept her face calm, but inside, she smiled. The plan was working. Humanity's enemies would stay confused until it was too late. Dr. Hana, Kim received Lee's battle report in her hidden lab. The dark matter engine worked even better than she hoped. The captain used it by accident, not knowing what his ship could really do. Soon, human captains would know the truth. Soon, the galaxy would see what Earth could build. The test was perfect, Hana told her team. Dark matter lets our ships exist in normal space and dark space at the same time. Enemy weapons hit the normal space version, which is just an image. Our weapons fire from dark space, where their shields mean nothing. What happens when they figure out our secret? Asked Dr. Bayek. By then we will have 100 ships like the Soul's Pride, maybe 1,000. Hana looked at the swirling dark matter in its container. The galaxy thinks humans are weak. They will learn how wrong they are. Back on Luna, Admiral Park read battle reports from across human territory. More patrol ships with dark matter engines were winning impossible fights. Each victory made aliens more nervous and confused. How many enemies are watching us now? Park asked his intelligence chief. All of them, sir. Krex spy ships are moving toward our borders. The Zorvans sent exploration fleets to human worlds. Even the Etherians are asking questions. Park nodded. Phase 1 was complete. Humanity had shown just enough strength to get attention without revealing their true power. Phase 2 would be more dangerous. They had to build a fleet strong enough to face the galaxy's ancient empires. Double the shipyard shifts, Park ordered. We need more dark matter warships ready before someone decides to attack Earth directly. Kindy, her laboratory far below Seoul, Dr. Hana Kim worked through another night. The dark matter responded to her touch like a living thing. It wanted to be shaped, wanted to be used. She had unlocked the universe's greatest secret, and now humanity would use that secret to change everything. The galaxy still saw humans as harmless traders from a small world. That would change very soon. When it did, the stars themselves would tremble at what Earth's children could do. Captain Tae-Ho Lee sat in his quarters aboard the Soul's Pride, reading reports about his victory over the Vorthan raiders. Something had happened during that battle, something his training could not explain. His ship had become like a ghost, untouchable but still deadly. Tomorrow, Admiral Park would visit the Soul's Pride. Lee hoped the Admiral had answers, because the questions were keeping him awake at night. How could human technology suddenly become so powerful? What other secrets was Earth keeping? The future would bring those answers, along with challenges that would test humanity's courage and strength. The galaxy was about to discover that the small peaceful world called Earth had been hiding the universe's most dangerous weapon, and humanity was just getting started. The footage from the Kepler system spread across the galaxy like wildfire. On every civilized world, beings watched in shocked silence as human ships tore through the mighty Krex Empire's fleets like they were made of paper. The impossible had become reality in 17 terrifying minutes. On the Etherian homeworld of Cynos, Mindweaver Zarthon floated in his crystal chamber, trying to comprehend what he had witnessed. The Etherian collective had ruled through mental domination for millennia, reading thoughts and controlling minds across vast distances. Now they faced an enemy they could not touch. The human minds are shielded, Zarthon whispered to the other Mindweavers. Their thoughts are hidden behind barriers we cannot penetrate. How can we control what we cannot reach? His subordinate, thought-seeker Velen, projected waves of confusion and fear. Their ships move through dimensions we cannot sense. Their weapons strike from realms beyond our understanding. The humans have found power sources that our science cannot explain. Zarthon reached out across space with his psychic abilities, trying once again to penetrate human consciousness. His mental touch found Earth and its colonies, but could go no further. Dark matter fields surrounded every human world like invisible shields, protecting 2 billion minds from Etherian influence. For the first time in 10,000 years, we face minds we cannot read and thoughts we cannot control, Zarthon admitted. The humans have made themselves immune to our greatest weapon. The Etherian Council convened an emergency session. Some members wanted immediate war against humanity before their dark matter technology could spread. Others suggested hiding in the galaxy's outer reaches until the human threat passed. A few brave voices spoke of seeking alliance with these new apex predators. We must learn their secrets, declared Prime Mindweaver Cassandra. If we cannot control human minds, perhaps we can steal human knowledge. In the ancient core systems of the Zorvan hegemony, beings who had ruled the galaxy for millions of years stirred from their cosmic slumber. The Zorvans were older than most stellar formations, their empire built on weapons that could unmake reality itself. Hierarch Mordoon had lived for over 1,000 years, but he had never seen anything like the human demonstration at Kepler. His species had conquered countless worlds by threatening to destroy their suns. Now they faced enemies who seemed to exist partially outside normal space-time. Wake the Supreme Hierarch, Mordoon commanded his subordinates. Velthanor must see what these humans have accomplished. The awakening chamber deep beneath the Zorvan capital began to glow with eldritch light. Supreme Hierarch Velthanor had slept for 3 centuries, dreaming of the day when the galaxy would finally be at perfect peace under Zorvan rule. Now urgent voices called him back to wakefulness. Show me, Velthanor demanded, as his ancient consciousness returned to full awareness. The battle footage played on crystalline displays that captured every detail. Velthanor watched human ships phase through solid matter, fire weapons from impossible angles, and ignore attacks that should have vaporized them instantly. Dark matter manipulation, Velthanor said after long consideration. They have learned to touch the universe's hidden substrate. This is forbidden knowledge, abomination against the natural order. What are your commands, Supreme One? Asked Hierarch Mordoon. Prepare the Infinity Gates. If these humans threaten galactic stability, we will demonstrate why the Zorvan hegemony has endured for eons. We will show them weapons that predate their entire species. Captain Hyan Wu Nam guided the stealth ship Guangzhou Shadow through Zorvan space, his vessel invisible to the ancient empire's sensors. His mission was simple: observe and report on alien reactions to humanity's revelation. What he found in the Zorvan core worlds made his blood run cold. Massive space stations were powering up after millennia of dormancy. Weapons platforms the size of moons began charging their reality-warping cannons. Most terrifying of all, the Infinity Gates themselves were awakening from their long sleep. "Sir, are you seeing this?" whispered his sensor officer. "Those stations are each the size of Earth's moon. The power readings are off our scales." Nam studied the tactical display with growing dread. The Zorvans possessed technology that could destroy entire solar systems. Their Infinity Gates opened, rifts in space-time itself, allowing them to attack targets from impossible distances. "Record everything," Nam ordered. "Admiral Park needs to know what we are really facing." The Guangzhou Shadow's cameras captured images of weapons that had terrorized the galaxy for millions of years. The Zorvans had built their empire not through conquest but through the ultimate threat: surrender or watch your homeworld burn in the fires of a dying star. On Earth, President In-Ho Kang addressed the United Earth Assembly in an emergency session. The representatives from every human world gathered to hear how their quiet species had become the galaxy's newest superpower overnight. "My fellow humans, the galaxy has changed forever," Kang announced. "We are no longer the harmless traitors that other species ignored. We have become something new, something powerful, something that ancient empires fear." The assembly buzzed with excited and worried voices. Representative Kim from the Mars colonies stood up first. "Mr. President, what does this mean for our people? Will the alien empires unite against us?" "Some will try," Kang replied honestly. "The Krex Empire is already calling for our destruction. The Etherians see us as a threat to their psychic dominance. The ancient Zorvan hegemony may awaken weapons that predate human civilization. How can we stand against enemies with millions of years of experience?" asked Representative Park from the Europa mining stations. "Because experience means nothing when the fundamental rules change," Kang explained. "Our dark matter technology gives us advantages that no amount of ancient knowledge can overcome. We can exist in multiple dimensions simultaneously. We can strike from realms they cannot reach. We can defend ourselves against weapons they thought were unstoppable. Dr. Hana Kim joined the assembly session by hologram from her laboratory beneath Seoul. The assembled representatives looked at her with awe and gratitude, knowing she was the architect of humanity's transformation. Dr. Kim, what can you tell us about our capabilities? Asked Representative Lee from the Alpha Centauri colonies. Dark matter makes up 85% of the universe, Hana explained. For billions of years, every species has ignored this vast resource because they could not see or touch it. We have learned to harness what others cannot even detect. This gives us power over the very fabric of reality. Are there limits to what dark matter can do? Asked another representative. Hana paused, considering her answer carefully. I am still discovering the full potential. Dark matter affects gravity, time, space, and fundamental forces. We have barely scratched the surface of what is possible. Ambassador Soo-Jin Park faced a transformed Galactic Council, where former allies now viewed humanity with suspicion and fear. The chamber that once ignored human concerns now focused entirely on the threat Earth represented. Ambassador Park, your people have concealed weapons of unprecedented power, accused the Altarian delegate. This violates the technology sharing accords that humanity signed. We shared the technology we had at the time, Soo-Jin replied calmly. Scientific advancement is not a crime under galactic law. The Krex representative, his species still reeling from their defeat at Kepler, spoke with barely controlled rage. Your ships massacred our fleet. Hundreds of honorable warriors died. Your fleet attacked human civilians, Soo-Jin responded without emotion. We defended our people using available resources. If you consider that a massacre, perhaps your warriors should have chosen their targets more carefully. The debate raged for hours while Soo-Jin maintained perfect diplomatic composure. Inside, she felt the weight of representing a species that had suddenly become the galaxy's apex predator. Every word she spoke could trigger wars or forge alliances that would reshape civilized space. Some species sought immediate alliance with humanity. The peaceful Delphini offered trade agreements and mutual defense pacts, recognizing that human protection might be their only hope against aggressive empires. The scientific Quellians requested access to dark matter research, promising to share their own technological advances in return. Others plotted humanity's destruction. The warlike Thraxians began mobilizing their fleets for a preemptive strike on Earth. The parasitic Vexhi saw human dark matter technology as the ultimate prize worth any risk to obtain. Captain Minho Song returned to Earth with intelligence, reports from across the galaxy. The reactions to humanity's demonstration at Kepler painted a complex picture of fear, greed, and desperate calculation. How many species are actively preparing for war against us? Admiral Park asked during the briefing. 17 confirmed, maybe 23, Song replied. The Krex want revenge. The Thraxians see us as a challenge to their warrior culture. Several smaller empires think destroying us now will prevent us from destroying them later. And potential allies? 41 species have requested formal diplomatic contact. Most are smaller civilizations looking for protection. The Quellians and Altarians might offer genuine partnership. Park studied the strategic display showing alien fleet movements throughout the galaxy. Admiral Day Park stood on the bridge of his flagship, the Inchen's Wrath, staring at the empty space around Kepler Station. His ship floated alone in the void while 3 Krex invasion fleets approached from different directions. 612 alien warships against 1 human vessel. The odds looked hopeless. That was exactly what Park wanted the Krex to think. Sir, the alien fleets will arrive in 30 minutes, reported his sensor officer. They are not trying to hide. Their approach. Why would they? Park replied. They think they are hunting a helpless prey. The Krex had broadcast their intention to capture Kepler Station and its 2 million human colonists. They wanted to study human technology and learn the secrets behind the impossible victories over Vorthon raiders. Fleet Commander Kraton promised to take prisoners for his scientists to examine. Park activated the ship-wide comm system. All hands, This is the Admiral. Today we show the galaxy what humanity has become. Every alien empire will witness this battle. They will see that Earth's children are no longer defenseless traitors. They will see that we have become apex predators. In hidden positions throughout the Kepler system, 11 other human warships waited in dark matter space. The crews had trained for months to coordinate their attacks perfectly. Each ship carried weapons that could bend the laws of physics, powered by engines that touched the universe's deepest secrets. Captain Yeon-Soo Lim commanded the Daegu Storm from her position inside a gas giant's rings. Her ship was completely invisible to normal sensors, existing partially in dark matter space where alien technology could not reach. "Captain, I have visual contact with the first Krex fleet," reported her tactical officer. 87 vessels, including 4 dreadnoughts. "Weapons ready?" Lim asked. "All dark matter cannons charged and ready to fire." Lim smiled coldly. The Krex dreadnoughts were massive ships designed to crush enemy fleets with overwhelming firepower. Their shields could stop any known weapon, but dark matter cannons fired from a different dimension of space where shields meant nothing. The first Krex fleet dropped out of hyperspace near Kepler Station. Admiral Vextar the Bloody led them aboard his flagship, Crimson Victory. The alien commander studied his tactical display with satisfaction. One human ship against his entire fleet. This would be over quickly. "Human vessel, you will surrender immediately," Vextar broadcast on all frequencies. "Your weapons cannot harm Krex shields. Your ship cannot escape our superior speed. Surrender now and your crew will be treated according to galactic law." "Admiral." Park's response echoed across space for everyone to hear. "Fleet Commander Vextar, my name is Admiral Day Park of the Earth Defense Force. You have entered human space without permission and threatened innocent civilians. I am here to teach you why that was a mistake." Vextar laughed at the human's brave words. "One ship against my entire fleet? Your courage is admirable but foolish. You will surrender or be destroyed." "The age of humanity begins now," Park replied, calmly. That was the signal. Across the Kepler system, human warships faded into normal space like materializing nightmares. The Krex had been so focused on Park's flagship that they never saw the trap closing around them. Captain Yeon-Soo Lim brought the Daegu Storm out of dark matter space directly above a Krex dreadnought. Her ship looked like a gray ghost appearing from nowhere, its hull crackling with dark energy. "Fire all weapons," Lim ordered. Dark matter cannons sent invisible beams of destructive force into the alien vessel. The Krex captain had no time to react before his massive dreadnought simply came apart, its armor and shields useless against weapons that struck from another dimension. Throughout the system, human ships appeared and struck with devastating precision. Captain Jae-Won Ko used his ship's dark matter manipulators to compress space around 12 Krex cruisers, crushing them like tin cans. Captain Dong-Hyun Shin phased his vessel through 3 alien destroyers, tearing them apart from the inside before materializing safely on the other side. "Impossible!" Vexatar screamed as his fleet died around him. "Human weapons cannot penetrate our shields." "Your shields exist in normal space," Admiral Park explained almost gently. "Our weapons do not." The battle became a demonstration of humanity's new power. Human ships moved like ghosts, appearing and disappearing at will. They fired weapons that ignored every known law of physics. When aliens fired back, their energy beams passed harmlessly through human vessels that had partially faded into dark matter space. Captain Min Ho-song brought the Busan runner alongside a Krex heavy cruiser and opened fire at point-blank range. The alien ship's shields flared uselessly as dark matter beams carved through its hull like tissue paper. "This is not warfare," whispered the Krex weapons officer. "This is butchery." Vextar tried to rally his remaining ships. "All vessels, concentrate fire on the human flagship. Destroy their leader." 40 Krex warships turned their guns on the Yeo, Incheon's wrath. Hundreds of energy beams and missiles converged on Admiral Park's position. For a moment, space blazed with destructive light. When the light faded, Park's ship hung undamaged in space. The concentrated firepower of an entire fleet had accomplished nothing. The human vessel existed in 2 dimensions at once, and the Krex had only attacked the shadow. "Your turn," Park said quietly. The Incheon's wrath opened fire with its main batteries. Dark matter beams reached across space and touched 6 Krex vessels simultaneously. The alien ships simply ceased to exist, reduced to expanding clouds of plasma and debris. The second and third Krex fleets arrived to find their comrades being systematically destroyed. Fleet Admiral Morgak tried to understand what he was seeing, but his tactical computers could not explain how human ships moved through solid matter or fired weapons that ignored basic physics. "All fleets retreat immediately," Morgak ordered. "This is not a battle we can win." But retreat was impossible. Human ships appeared around the fleeing aliens like hunting wolves. Captain Hyan Wu Nam brought his vessel out of dark matter, spaced directly in front of the largest Krex formation, blocking their escape route. "Surrender and we will allow you to leave," Admiral Park broadcast to the surviving aliens. "Continue fighting and we will send you all to join your ancestors." Some Krex captains tried to surrender. Others, driven mad by fear and confusion, kept firing their useless weapons at enemies they could not touch. The human response was swift and final. Ships that surrendered were allowed to retreat. Ships that fought back were destroyed without mercy. Dr. Hana Kim watched the battle from Earth's command center, her life's work reshaping galactic politics in real time. The dark matter technology she had developed in secret was revealing humanity's true power to the universe. "Casualty report?" Admiral Park asked after the last Krex ship had either fled or been destroyed. "0 human casualties, sir. Not one of. Our ships took damage. Enemy losses. 347 vessels destroyed, 68 vessels fled the system." Park nodded grimly. The demonstration was complete, but this was only the beginning. Word of humanity's victory would spread across the galaxy within hours. Every alien empire would see the footage of Krex fleets being torn apart by impossible weapons. Some species would seek alliance with humanity. Others would plot Earth's destruction. A few would simply run for the galaxy's outer rim, hoping to hide from the new apex predator that had revealed itself. "Send a message to Earth," Park ordered. "Tell President Kang that Phase 2 is complete. The galaxy now knows what we can do." Captain Tai-Ho Lee watched the battle's aftermath from his position near Kepler Station. The Soul's Pride had been the first ship to use dark matter weapons in combat, starting the chain of events that led to this moment. Now he understood what had really happened during his fight with the Vorthan Raiders. "Sir, we are receiving surrender requests from 19 Krex vessels," reported his communications officer. "Accept their surrender," Lee replied, "but keep our weapons ready. Some aliens learn faster than others." The Kepler system floated in space, littered with alien debris. Human ships moved among the wreckage like dark angels, their hulls still crackling with dimensional energy. The age of humanity had begun with a demonstration of power that would echo through galactic history. Admiral Day Park looked out at the stars and wondered what challenges would come next. The galaxy's ancient empires would not accept humanity's rise without a fight. Worse battles lay ahead against enemies with millions of years of experience and weapons that could destroy entire worlds. But humanity was ready. Earth's children had learned to harness the universe's most fundamental force. They had become something new, something dangerous, something beautiful. The demonstration was over. The real war was about to begin. The demonstration of human power had triggered the largest military buildup in galactic history. Ancient alliances Kiar deep in the heart of Zorvan space. Supreme Hierarch Velthanor stood before the master control chamber, his ancient form crackling with eldritch energy. Around him, weapons that had slept for millennia awakened at his command. The Zorvan hegemony had ruled the galaxy for eons, using the ultimate threat, and now they would demonstrate why their empire had endured when countless others had fallen. "Activate the Infinity Gates," Velthanor commanded his subordinates. "Let the universe remember why the Zorvan name inspires terror across 1 billion worlds." The massive space stations began to glow with reality-warping power. Each Infinity Gate could reach across galactic distances to unmake entire solar systems. The Zorvans had built their empire not through conquest, but through absolute deterrence. Submit to Zorvan rule, or watch your homeworld burn in the fires of a dying star. "Supreme One, The humans possess unknown defensive capabilities, warned Hierarch Morden. Their ships exist partially outside normal space. Our conventional weapons may not affect them. Velthanor's laughter echoed through the control chamber, like the sound of breaking reality. The Infinity Gates do not attack ships or planets, fool. They attack the fundamental forces that hold matter together. Let the humans hide in their dark matter dimensions. When we unmake their sun, they will die with all other life in their system. Captain Yunji Ryu brought her ship, the Olsen Striker, out of dark matter space near the Zorvan border systems. Her mission was desperate. Gather intelligence on the ancient empire's ultimate weapons before they could be used against Earth. What she found made her question whether humanity could survive what was coming. Captain, those stations are each the size of small moons, reported her science officer. The energy readings suggest they are charging weapons that could destroy entire star systems. Ryu studied the sensor data with growing dread. The Infinity Gates were not just weapons, but instruments of cosmic destruction that violated every known law of physics. They reached across space-time itself to attack targets at the most fundamental level of reality. How many gates are activating? Ryu asked. 7 confirmed. Possibly more beyond our sensor range. If they can target any location in the galaxy instantly, the science officer's voice trailed off as the implications became clear. Send an emergency transmission to Earth, Ryu ordered. Tell Admiral Park that we have 6 hours before the Zorvans can strike at Sol system directly. On Earth, Dr. Chan Ho. Beck worked frantically in the underground laboratory, trying to understand how dark matter might interact with the Zorvans' reality-warping weapons. The intercepted data from Captain Ryu's mission provided crucial details about Infinity Gate technology. The gates manipulate the strong nuclear force that holds atomic nuclei together, Beck explained to Dr. Hana Kim. When they fire, every atom in the target area simply comes apart. Stars explode, planets dissolve into their component particles, and entire systems cease to exist. Hana studied the technical readouts with intense concentration. But they have to target something in normal space-time. What if the target exists primarily in dark matter dimensions? You think our ships might be immune? Not immune, but partially protected. The real question is whether we can turn their own technology against them. Hana pulled up theoretical models on her display screen. Dark matter connects everything in the universe. If I can find the right frequency, we might be able to use dark matter manipulation to disrupt the gate's targeting systems. The first test of Zorvan power came at the Kepler system, where humanity had demonstrated their new capabilities. Hierarch Vormok the Eternal led a strike fleet of 400 ancient warships to destroy the human colony there and test their vessels against dark matter technology. Admiral Day Park commanded the defense with only 12 dark matter warships. The odds seemed impossible, but Park had learned not to judge battles by simple numbers. Human technology had moved beyond the realm where quantity mattered more than capability. All ships, assume defensive positions around Kepler Station, Park commanded. Remember, these are not Krek's vessels. The Zorvans have had millions of years to perfect their weapons. Captain Dong-hyun Shin brought his ship, the Jeonju's Fury, into position near the station's main defensive grid. His vessel existed simultaneously in normal space and dark matter dimensions, making it nearly impossible for conventional sensors to target. Sir, the Zorvan fleet is dropping out of hyperspace, reported his tactical officer. I have never seen ships like these before. The alien vessels were works of art and terror combined. Their hulls flowed like liquid metal, constantly shifting between different configurations. Weapons that resembled organic growths pulsed with eldritch light. Most disturbing of all, reality seemed to bend around them, as if their mere presence wounded the fabric of space-time. Human vessels you will surrender immediately, broadcast Hierarch Vormok. Your dark matter tricks will not save you from weapons that predate your species by millions of years. This is Admiral Park of the Earth Defense Force, came the reply. You have entered human space without authorization. Withdraw immediately, or face the consequences. Vormak's response was to open fire with weapons that twisted the laws of physics. Beams of pure entropy reached across space, designed to age anything they touched into cosmic dust. Reality-warping missiles phase-shifted through multiple dimensions to strike targets that should have been untouchable, but the human ships were ready. Captain Shin's vessel phased deeper into dark matter space existing in multiple dimensions simultaneously. When the Zorvan entropy beams struck, they hit empty space where his ship appeared to be but was not entirely present. "Return fire all weapons," Shin ordered. Dark matter cannons sent invisible beams of destruction toward the Zorvan fleet. The ancient ship's reality-warping defenses bent space around them, deflecting attacks that came from normal dimensions. But dark matter beams traveled through realms the Zorvans could not fully perceive or protect against. 3 Zorvan cruisers simply ceased to exist, their exotic matter hulls unable to withstand weapons that struck from outside conventional space-time. The battle escalated as both sides revealed capabilities that challenged fundamental understanding of the universe. Captain Haiyan Wu Nam brought the Guangzhou Shadow alongside a massive Zorvan dreadnought and fired his main batteries at point-blank range. The alien vessel's hull rippled like liquid, absorbing and redirecting the attack back at him. But Nam's ship existed partially in dark matter space, and the reflected energy passed harmlessly through the dimensional interface. "These aliens adapt to our attacks," Nam reported to Admiral Park. "Their ships are learning from each exchange." "Then we must end this quickly," Park replied. "All vessels concentrate fire on their flagship. If we destroy their commander, the rest may withdraw." The 12 human ships converged on Hierarch Vormak's massive command vessel. The ancient dreadnought was over 3 kilometers long, its hull covered in weapons that predated human civilization. But size and age meant nothing against enemies that could exist in multiple dimensions simultaneously. Dark matter beams struck the Zorvan flagship from impossible angles. The ship's reality-warping defenses created spatial distortions that should have deflected any attack. But dark matter weapons traveled through realms beyond the ship's protective capabilities. Vormak's vessel began to come apart as its exotic matter hull was torn by forces it could not comprehend or resist. The ancient hierarch broadcast a final message before his ship exploded in a cascade of dimensional energy. "You have not won, humans. The supreme hierarch will demonstrate why. Your species should have remained hidden. The Infinity Gates will show you the price of defying the natural order." The surviving Zorvan ships retreated into hyperspace, but their message was clear. This had been only a test of human defenses. The real attack would come from weapons that could reach across galactic distances to strike at the heart of human civilization. On Earth, President In-Ho Kang received the battle report while meeting with his military advisors. The victory at Kepler was encouraging, but intelligence reports suggested the Zorvans were preparing something far more dangerous. "How long before their Infinity Gates are fully operational?" Kang asked Admiral Park via secure communication. "Our best estimates give us perhaps 6 hours, Park replied. "Captain Ryu's intelligence indicates they are targeting Sol system directly. They plan to destroy our sun and end the human threat permanently. Can our dark matter technology protect us from weapons that attack at the fundamental level of reality?" Dr. Kim believes she has found a way to disrupt their targeting systems, but it will require pushing our technology beyond any previous limits. In her laboratory beneath Seoul, Dr. Hana Kim worked on the most important project of her career. The theoretical models suggested that dark matter could interfere with the quantum fields that Infinity Gates use to target distant systems. But the power requirements were enormous, and failure would mean the death of every human in Sol system. "We need to create a dark matter field that encompasses the entire solar system," Hana explained to her team. "Every planet, every moon, every space station must be shielded simultaneously. The energy requirements would drain." The Galactic Council chamber buzzed with worried voices. Representatives from 50 different species sat in their floating seats, all talking about the same thing. Human ships were doing impossible things, and nobody could explain how. Ambassador Sujin Park sat quietly in the human section, her face showing nothing. Inside, she felt proud and nervous at the same time. The plan was working, but each day brought new dangers. "The Vorthon raiders were destroyed by primitive human weapons," said the Krex representative, his voice full of doubt. "This makes no sense. Human technology is centuries behind ours. The Etherian delegate's voice whispered directly into everyone's minds. We have tried to read human thoughts about this matter. There is something blocking our mental touch. The humans hide behind barriers we cannot break. Su-Jin almost smiled at that. Dr. Hana Kim's dark matter fields did more than power ships. They also protected human minds from psychic attacks. The Etherians had controlled other species for thousands of years by reading their thoughts. Now they faced an enemy they could not see inside. Perhaps the humans discovered some new technology, suggested the Altarian ambassador. Small species sometimes make unexpected breakthroughs. Or perhaps the Vorthans were lying about their defeat, growled the Krex delegate. Raiders often make up stories to hide their failures. Su-Jin finally spoke. The Galactic Council has records of the battle. 3 Vorthon ships were destroyed, 2 escaped. These are facts, not stories. Then how do you explain it? Demanded the Krex representative. My people have always been resourceful, Su-Jin replied. We find ways to win against stronger enemies. That was true, but not the whole truth. Su-Jin knew exactly how Captain Lee's ship had won. The Soul's Pride carried a weapon that could reshape the galaxy's balance of power. But the galaxy was not ready to learn that secret yet. Dr. Bo-Ram Choi worked in her secure office on Earth, reading intercepted alien communications. As humanity's chief expert on alien behavior, she studied how other species reacted to the impossible human victories. The messages told a clear story. Fear was spreading through the galaxy faster than news of the battles. Species that had ignored humans for decades now watched human space with worried eyes. The Krex are moving 3 battle fleets toward our borders, Bo-Ram told her assistant. They claim it is for training exercises, but the formations are wrong for training. What about the others? Asked the young analyst. The Etherians are trying to plant spies in human colonies. The Zorvans have awakened from their long sleep and are asking questions about human technology. Bo-Ram pulled up more reports on her screen. Even small species are choosing sides. Some want to be our friends before we become too powerful. Others want to join our enemies before we become too dangerous. Bo-Ram sent her analysis to Earth's leadership. Humanity had perhaps 6 months before someone decided to attack first and ask questions later. The dark matter fleet had to be ready. By then, Captain Minho Song had never seen so many alien warships in one place. His ship, the Busan Runner, floated invisible in dark matter space while hundreds of Krex vessels gathered for their training exercise near human territory. The Krex called their commander, Admiral Vextar, the Bloody. Song could see why. The alien's flagship was painted with red symbols representing his victories. Each symbol meant a world conquered, a species enslaved, or a rival killed in battle. Sir, are you seeing this? Whispered his sensor officer. 217 Krex warships. That is not a training fleet. Song nodded grimly. This was an invasion force, probably the largest the Krex had assembled in 50 years. They planned to crush humanity before human tricks could spread to other species. Record everything, Song ordered. Admiral Park needs to see the exact ship types and weapon configurations. The Busan Runner's cameras captured images of massive Krex dreadnoughts bristling with weapons, assault carriers full of ground troops, fast attack ships designed to hunt down fleeing enemies. This fleet could conquer 10 human worlds without breathing hard, but the Krex did not know what they were really facing. Song's ship was completely invisible to their sensors. They were planning an attack against an enemy who could watch their every move. Captain, the alien fleet is changing formation, reported the navigation officer. They are preparing for hyperspace jump. Where are they going? Song asked, though he already feared the answer. Trajectory analysis shows. The Kepler system. Sir, right at the edge of human space. Song felt his blood turn cold. Kepler was home to 2 million human colonists. It was also the perfect place for the Krex to test their strength against humanity's mysterious new weapons. Get us back to Earth, Song ordered. Maximum speed. The Busan Runner faded deeper into dark matter space and raced toward home. Behind them, the Krex fleet prepared for a battle they thought they would easily win. On the Krek's flagship, Admiral Vextar studied reports about human victories over Vorthon raiders. His officers claimed the reports were lies or mistakes. Vextar was not so sure. He had lived through 40 years of galactic warfare and learned to respect unexpected threats. "Humans have weak ships and simple weapons," said his fleet captain. "Our shields will stop anything they can fire at us." The Vorthons thought the same thing, Vextar replied. Yet 3 of their ships burned in space. The Vorthons are cowards and fools. The Krek's empire fears no human tricks. Vextar said nothing more, but privately he wondered. Humans had survived and spread across the galaxy despite having weak technology and no natural weapons. Species that survived usually had hidden strengths. Perhaps humans were more dangerous than they appeared. Still, 200 Krek's warships should be enough to crush any human fleet. If the humans had some new weapon, capturing it would make the Krek's empire even stronger. Dr. Hana Kim received Captain Song's report while working in her laboratory. The images of the massive Krek's fleet made her hands shake. Even with dark matter technology, fighting so many enemies at once would be incredibly dangerous. "How many of our ships are ready for combat?" she asked Admiral Park over the secure comm channel. 12 vessels with full dark matter systems. Maybe 8 more with partial installations, Park replied. "Against 200 Krek's warships, the odds are not good." "Numbers do not tell the whole story," Hana said. "Dark matter gives us advantages the Krek's cannot imagine, but we will need to reveal our full capabilities. The galaxy will see what we can really do. Yes. After Kepler, there will be no more secrets. Every species will know that humanity has become something new." Hana looked at the dark matter swirling in its containment field. For 15 years, she had worked to give humanity the power to defend itself. Now that power would be tested in the most dangerous way possible. President In-Ho Kang addressed the Earth Assembly from the Capitol building in Geneva. The representatives from every human world listened to his words with growing amazement and fear. "My fellow humans, our scientists have made a discovery that changes everything," Kang said. "We have learned to use dark matter, the invisible substance that fills the universe. This technology makes our ships faster, stronger, and nearly impossible to destroy." The assembly erupted in shocked voices. Representatives demanded to know why this breakthrough was kept secret. Kang waited for quiet before continuing. "We kept this secret because knowledge brings danger. Other species would have attacked us before we were ready to defend ourselves. Now they are coming anyway, and we must be prepared to fight." "How can we stand against the great empires?" asked the representative from New Tokyo. "They have millions of ships and billions of soldiers." "We do not need to match their numbers," Kang replied. "Our dark matter technology makes 1 human ship equal to 10 alien vessels. We will show the galaxy that humanity is no longer weak." Ambassador Soo-Jin Park watched the assembly session from the Galactic Council chambers. Soon, aliens would demand answers about human capabilities. She would have to choose between truth and deception, knowing that either choice could lead to war. The whispers of impossible human victories were about to become screams of terror. The galaxy would learn that the quiet species from Earth had become its newest apex predator, and humanity was ready to show their claws. The moment of truth arrived as 3 infinity gates fired simultaneously across the galaxy. Reality-destroying energy raced toward Sol system at speeds that bypassed normal spacetime, targeting the sun itself and every planet orbiting around. Its supreme hierarch Velthanor watched from his command chamber, confident that humanity's dark matter tricks could not protect them from weapons that attacked the fundamental forces holding matter together. Dr. Hana Kim stood in her laboratory, beneath Sol, her hands dancing across controls that channeled the power of an entire star. Around Earth and throughout Sol system, hidden installations activated dark matter field generators that she had spent years secretly installing. The sun itself became the power source for humanity's most desperate gambit. "Field generators are active," reported Dr. Chan Ho Bayek. "We are drawing power directly from solar fusion. The dark matter cascade is beginning." Through space around every human world, invisible fields of dark matter began to form a protective barrier, unlike anything the universe had ever seen. The shield did not exist in normal space, but in the hidden dimensions that comprised 85% of reality itself. The Infinity Gate weapons struck the dark matter barrier surrounding Sol system and simply stopped. Energy that should have unmade an entire star dispersed harmlessly across multiple dimensions. For the first time in millions of years, the Zorvan Empire's ultimate weapons had failed completely. "Impossible!" Velthanor screamed as his instruments registered the failure. "Nothing can stop the Infinity Gates. They attack reality itself." "Only reality as you understand it," came Dr. Kim's voice across the interstellar communication channels. "Dark matter exists beyond your comprehension. We have learned to shield ourselves with the universe's deepest secrets." The failure of the Infinity Gate sent shockwaves through Zorvan space. Ancient hierarchs who had slept for centuries awakened to learn that their species' ultimate weapons no longer guaranteed their supremacy. Panic spread through the empire that had ruled the galaxy through fear for eons. Captain Jiwoo Hong received her orders aboard the newly completed flagship Sol's Vengeance, humanity's first dark matter dreadnought. The massive vessel existed simultaneously in multiple dimensions, its hull crackling with reality-bending energy. "Captain Hong, you are authorized to take the war directly to the Zorvan homeworld," Admiral Park transmitted from Earth. "Show them that humanity is no longer content to merely defend ourselves." The Sol's Vengeance phased into deep dark matter space and traveled across the galaxy in minutes, bypassing millions of years of Zorvan defensive installations. The ancient empire had spent eons building fortifications in normal space, never imagining enemies that could attack from dimensions they could not perceive. Hong's ship materialized directly above the Zorvan capital world, its weapons trained on the planetary defense grid. The aliens' most heavily defended world suddenly faced an enemy that had appeared from nowhere. "Zorvan forces, this is Captain Hong of the Earth Defense Force," she broadcast on all frequencies. "Your Infinity Gates have failed. Your ancient weapons cannot touch us. Surrender now, and we will show mercy your empire never offered others." Supreme Hierarch Velthanor stared at the tactical displays showing a human vessel hovering above his homeworld. His species had ruled the galaxy for millions of years, but now they faced extinction from enemies they had tried to destroy. "All defense stations fire at will," Velthanor commanded. "Destroy the human ship." Ancient weapons that had protected the Zorvan homeworld for eons opened fire on the Sol's Vengeance. Reality-warping beams and dimension-shifting missiles converged on Hong's position with enough power to crack planets. But the human dreadnought existed in multiple realms simultaneously, and the attacks passed through empty space where the ship appeared to be, but was not entirely present. "Return fire," Hong ordered calmly. Dark matter cannons sent invisible beams of destruction toward the planet's surface. The weapons struck not at physical targets, but at the quantum fields that held atomic nuclei together. One by one, the Zorvan defense stations simply ceased to exist, their exotic matter construction unable to withstand attacks from beyond conventional spacetime. But Hong's true target was not the planet's defenses. Deep beneath the surface lay the Master Infinity Gate, the weapon that controlled all others throughout the galaxy. If she could destroy it, the Zorvan Empire's reign of terror would end forever. "Target the quantum signature directly below the capital city," Hong commanded. "Full power to all weapons." The Sol's Vengeance fired its main batteries through multiple dimensions simultaneously. Dark matter beams reached through layers of reality to strike the Master Gate's control systems. The ancient weapon that had terrorized countless civilizations began to overload as forces it could not comprehend tore through its fundamental structure. Dr. Hana Kim watched from Earth as her life's work achieved its ultimate purpose. The dark matter cascade she had triggered was spreading throughout the galaxy, neutralizing every Infinity Gate simultaneously. The weapons that had maintained Zorvan supremacy for eons were becoming useless relics. "The quantum cascade is reaching critical mass," Dr. Beck reported. "Every Infinity Gate in the galaxy is experiencing systematic failure." "Good," Hana replied. "Let the universe see that no weapon, no matter how ancient or powerful, can stand against the fundamental forces of reality when properly understood." Across the galaxy, Zorvan hierarchs received reports of their ultimate weapons failing one by one. Some tried to activate emergency protocols, hoping to salvage their empire's power. Others simply fled toward the galactic rim, seeking refuge in distant star systems where they might hide from humanity's wrath. The ancient Zorvan Empire collapsed in a single day. Species that had cowered under their rule for millions of years suddenly realized their oppressors' weapons no longer functioned. Rebellions erupted on thousands of worlds as subject races threw off chains that had bound them since before human civilization began. Ambassador Sujin Park stood before the reformed Galactic Council aboard humanity's new mobile capital ship, Earth's Dawn. The chamber that once ignored human concerns now existed at humanity's pleasure. Its delegates gathered to hear how the galaxy would be reorganized. The age of rule through terror has ended, Sujin announced to the assembled representatives. The Zorvan Empire's collapse proves that no species, no matter how ancient, can maintain power through fear alone. Humanity offers a different path, the Altarian delegate spoke first. Ambassador Park, what assurance do we have that humanity will not become the next galactic empire? Your dark matter technology makes you more powerful than the Zorvans ever were. Power without purpose is meaningless, Sujin replied. We seek not to rule but to protect. The galaxy has seen enough empires built on conquest and domination. It is time for something new. Some species remain suspicious of human intentions. The warlike Thraxians demanded proof that humanity would not use their overwhelming technological advantage to impose their will on weaker races. The parasitic Vexi plotted to steal dark matter secrets through infiltration and sabotage, but most civilizations recognized the truth. Humanity had gained the power to conquer the galaxy, but chose instead to liberate it. The dark matter technology that could have made Earth into a galactic empire was being used to establish a federation of equals. Captain Taeho Lee, whose routine patrol had started the chain of events that reshaped galactic civilization, now commanded the first joint exploration fleet venturing beyond the galaxy's rim. The Soul's Pride led a mixed force of human and alien vessels toward distant star systems where new mysteries waited. Sir, we are detecting artificial signals from the Andromeda Galaxy, reported his science officer. The patterns suggest advanced technological civilization. Lee smiled at the possibilities. The Milky Way galaxy had been transformed by humanity's rise, but the universe contained billions of other galaxies. Who knew what allies or enemies waited among distant stars? Set course for the signal source, Lee commanded. Let's see what neighbors we have in the cosmic neighborhood. Dr. Hana Kim continued her research in expanded laboratories that now existed on dozens of human worlds. Dark matter held secrets that could reshape reality itself, and she had barely begun to explore its potential. The technology that had saved humanity might someday allow them to transcend the physical universe entirely. What are you working on now? President Kang asked during one of his visits to the main research facility. The fundamental question of consciousness itself, Hana replied, gesturing to swirling patterns of dark matter in advanced containment fields. If dark matter connects everything in the universe, perhaps it also connects every thinking mind. We might be on the verge of discovering how intelligence itself emerges from quantum fields. The implications were staggering. If consciousness was linked to dark matter, then every thinking being in the universe might be connected at the deepest level. Humanity's mastery of dark matter could lead to understanding the nature of thought, memory, and existence itself. Admiral Day Park stood on the bridge of his flagship, looking out at stars that no longer held the same dangers they once had. The Meu galaxy was still full of challenges and mysteries, but humanity now faced them from a position of strength rather than